And it was really from when I was a very young child, coming home in the afternoons in Australia, like everybody in the 70s, and watching cartoons and doing all the voices from my friends who were also with me watching cartoons before Mum kicked us out of the lounge to go and play outside. And so I'd play with all the characters and do all the voices, and all my mates were laughing and having fun with it, and we're all, doing all the scenes from all the cartoons that we were watching, the Jetsons and Scooby-Doo, of course, and Wacky Races and all those great cartoons from back then, and all the Warner Brothers cartoons with Bugs Bunny. And all my mates were just laughing and having a great time, and I thought, oh, this feels really good. And they were saying, you've got a really good voice. You can do these voices so well. And that was the spark that started me to think, I like this feeling of bringing joy to people. And so I started to formulate this idea very young, probably about 8 or 9, that I wanted to be an actor. And when I'm doing a role, acting-wise, it starts with with the voice of the character. And then I work around the voice into the movement and the character itself. So all my characters that I play come from the voice. So that's where it started many, many years ago.
And you've done a lot of stunt work to begin with as well, or is?
Yeah, well, I'm from Australia, so we have a theme park on the Gold Coast in Queensland called Warner Brothers Movie World, and they built movie worlds around. They were going to build movie worlds around the world to compete with Disneyland and Universal Studios. And their first movie world was on the Gold Coast. Hollywood on the Gold Coast in Australia. And I was a pre-opening cast member as an actor and performing the acting roles in the Police Academy stunt show. So the Police Academy movie was just out then. Around then it was very, very popular. It was a blockbuster worldwide. And I started doing stunts very soon after in the show as well. And the show itself, Police Academy Stunt Show, was supposed to last for 18 months, and it lasted for 18 years because it was so popular, and it was a very, very slick show. So that was where I started doing stunts. And right next door to the theme park was the Warner Brothers Studios on the Gold Coast. And so as time went on in the early 90s, more movies and TV shows started to come to the studios, and we had the opportunity to go across and perform as actors and stunt people in the shows. And that's where I got my first break into being a voice artist, a standalone voice artist, because I got asked to come and be part of a voice group on a TV show, which led to another movie, which led to another TV show, and it just went from there. So I was continually doing voices on TV shows, re-voicing actors, and then I got cartoons, and then all sorts of things. And then in 2001, Warner Brothers decided to do a live-action movie of Scooby-Doo, and they fortunately filmed the first movie of Scooby-Doo 1 at the studios on the Gold Coast in 2001. And they asked the voice at the time, the American voice artist at the time, do you want to come out to Australia and be the voice actor on set and and play the character on set? Because back then, this is 20 years ago, remember? This is before motion capture, before all this technology. It was computer-generated image. So Scooby wasn't on the set at all. There was nothing there. So they needed someone to act the role to the actors. So if you're Shaggy, there's a camera. Here's a camera. Shaggy's talking to me. Hey, Scoob. Well, hi, Rakes, Raggy, Rodster. And I'm acting the role back to him. Without me, there's nothing there. So they were recording me. I'm just in civvies being recorded. And all that's going back to America, to Burbank Studios in Los Angeles, and they're really loving what I'm doing. So the current voice at the time said, I'll just do the final cut of the movie. And they went, oh, okay, we'll get a local. So they auditioned all around Australia and New Zealand, and I got that role as the voice actor on set. Started working with all the cast, Matthew Lillard, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Rowan Atkinson, all the cast, and started filming. And they really liked what I did, and I ended up voice acting Scrappy-Doo. So Scrappy-Doo, spoiler alert, was the villain in Scooby-Doo 1. So
ruined it now.
Ruined it. Sorry, it's 20 years ago. So, but he's the little guy, little Scooby's little nephew, and he's put him up. I'll rock him and I'll suck him. Puppy power, roll, Rappy, roll. He's that guy. So I voice read him as well, and then they said, "Oh, can you voice read the ghosts? Can you voice read the villains? Can you voice?" So I voice read everything on the show, and they really liked what I did. And they said, they came to the end of the show, and they said to to me, "Oh, look, we've loved what you've done, but we did, have this other guy in mind. We'll fly him out to Australia, and you can have a voice off. So he can do his full version of the movie, Scooby-Doo, and you can do your version of the movie, and we'll choose." So we did that, and they all wrapped, and they flew back to LA and said, "We'll call you." And I remember I was camping with my children on an island just off the Gold Coast, and my Nokia 5110 rang. This is 20 years ago, and it was like, "Oh, Belinda, my agent. Guess what? They've gone with you." So it was an opportunity, knocking, and I just put my best paw forward, and they chose me, and then obviously went on to do the sequel in Vancouver a couple of years later. So it was a really good opportunity that's just kept on bringing smiles to faces, and Scooby is very dear to my heart, of course, and I just keep bringing joy to people's lives through doing the voice and being at events like this.
What an origin story. It's like a superhero tale. We're going to get the mic up now, so if anybody's got questions, so if you want to come down to the middle here. Oh, fantastic, we've already got people. Oh, look at everybody coming up.
Yes, please.
We're going to just state your name and then tell us what your question is. Oh, it's not on, Dan. It's not on.
Yep. Hang on, standing by. There's a lineup.
There we go. Check 1, 2.
Yeah. 1. Oh, you got it, yeah. So I'm James. I've come from north of London. I've got 2 questions because I'm greedy. First question is, you talked about getting to do the second movie as well as the first live action. I want to know what was the experience working on that one, because of course it wasn't filming in Australia at the time. And what your thoughts of it, because I loved the second one just as much as I liked the first one.
Great question, James. Thank you. Yes, I agree with you, and all the cast, or Matthew Lillard especially, and myself agree that the second movie, Scooby-Doo 2, was a better film. They were both fantastic, but we both preferred, as you, Scooby-Doo 2 because it brought back all the old villains. It was a bit pacier. It was funnier. James Gunn, who wrote both Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, who's now the president of DC, so he's done pretty well. Old James. He was better on the second one. And how did we find it? Well, we all went on to the sequel. So, Freddie, Sarah, Linda, myself, and Matt, as the 5 of us, the Scooby gang, all went on to the sequel. And so we'd already done one movie. We'd already worked together for 5.5 months in Australia. Been to the premiere, got to know each other, we were good friends. So the second movie's process about filming was a lot slicker, a lot easier. We had the same writer, producer, director, the same editor, costume designer, sets. I mean, there's a lot of the key crew members as well. the heads of department in each area, they came to the sequel because they wanted to keep that whole feel of the movie, and so it was a better process, easier to do. So yeah.
And second question is, because I saw in the past you've done some you've been involved with a couple of dog charities. Do you ever do the Scooby voice in front of them a lot?
Yeah, of course. So I want to help people in the community, so I do some community work to try and make people's lives easier. And so I partnered up with a not-for-profit organisation to train assistance dogs to help people with physical and mental disabilities to make their lives easier. And they asked me to be their patron because there was and just to raise awareness of miracle assistance dogs in Australia to get more funds to try and help people. And so there was a really nice dog connection, obviously. And I was more than happy to do that. And yes, I do the voice, and I do radio and TV and newspaper interviews to try and raise awareness to help people in the community. So that's what I do.
Thanks a lot for your question, James.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Next up, we've got...
Hi, I'm Phoebe. So my question for you is, since you've done both acting and stunts, which do you prefer doing?
Yeah, great question. Phoebe Sparrow, is it?
Elizabeth Swan.
Okay, great question. Thank you, Phoebe. Yes, I've done most of my film and TV credits have been in stunts. And I just worked on Elvis, for instance, doing some driving and some fight stuff on Elvis. And I still work in the industry as a stuntman, but I'm a bit more choosy about what I do these days because, believe it or not, I'm not 25 anymore. No work done, would you believe it? So I don't, the falling on the concrete when you're younger is a lot easier than when you're older. And so I'm a bit more choosy about what I do. But in stunts, you have to be qualified in all 5 areas in Australia to work on set. And those 5 areas are heights, fights, fire, animals, vehicles. So you have to be proficient in all those areas of stunts. But you will specialise in something. So I specialise as a precision driver, and I'm a water specialist. So I'm a boat guy, I'm a water skier, sailboarder, blah, blah, blah. So I specialise in those 2 things. But fight scenes are really stuntman's bread and butter. So falling to the ground, doing chase sequences, fight scenes, you'll do a lot of that in your career. But so I'm a bit more choosy about what I do these days. But back then, I really did enjoy doing stunts on shows. The acting roles, look, they're great. Not as exciting. And when you do a big stunt, the crew and everyone applauds you, and that's not what normally happens after each take when you're acting, unless you really pull out an amazing performance. So, it's a lot more exciting. So I love doing both, and obviously voice artists as well. So you have to have lots of strings to your bow when you're a performer. But yeah, I probably prefer stunts over the acting roles, Phoebe.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Great question.
Voiceover's easier on the knees as well, I'm guessing.
Voiceover's easier on the knees, yes.
What's your name and what's your question?
I'm Paul, and you've sort of touched on that you prefer Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed because it brought back a lot of the familiar villains and it brought back a lot of that. But also Scooby-Doo 2 is, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say with the strikes, but the documentaries you made about the talking dog. But the second one is much more closer to the cartoon, and it's a lot more tonally a kids movie. The first one is, I guess, like a semi-adult movie, and in some of the jokes and some of the tone of it. Did you enjoy that sort of reality of getting to be a bit cheekier, or as you say, like, did you prefer it being stricter and more tonally consistent as a kids movie?
Great question. Yes, I mean, I enjoyed both of them, of course. Yes, you're right. There was a lot more gags that were aimed at the adults, with Mary Jane, Isla Fisher playing Mary Jane, you know, with the drug reference, perhaps, of that name being Shaggy's girlfriend. And yeah, it was probably a bit edgier in that way. But yeah, the whole aspect of going to an island was a little bit. I preferred the going to the abandoned mine as sets. They were a bit closer to a spooky mansion, perhaps. So yeah, look, they're all very different, and let's hope they do another 10 Scooby-Doos.
Yes.
Who'd like to see another Scooby-Doo movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Me too, big time. So, as I say, James Gunn's done really well. He's the CEO of DC. So, get on the keyboard and let's lobby James Gunn to do a collaboration of some description, because he could probably make it happen, and do another one, because there's lots of mysteries can be solved anywhere. And you know what? I don't know if this is a question, but if I was to write a script, I'd set it here. In the moors. You know, spooky, come on, it's there. So let's hope they do that. But yeah, great question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good analysis.
Next question up, we've got...
Hi, I'm Ashley. While you were doing both Scooby-Doos, do you have a favourite part of that you participated in with the scene-wise in both movies? And if so, what is it? Yeah,
thanks, Ashley. Definitely in the first movie, my favourite scene was working with Rowan Atkinson in the office scene where he wants me to be Rose. That scene there took a whole day to film. So it was only Rowan and I called on the call sheet as actors for that day. So to work with one of my heroes, and they say never meet your heroes, but I don't subscribe to that, because he was amazing to work with. Not a very jokey guy, you know, but when the cameras are rolling, he's amazing. But he's very contemplative about his performance and what he does. So yeah, definitely working with Rowan Atkinson in the office scene on number one, and then probably on number two, I like the dock scene where Scooby does the dance, because I had a little cameo in that scene. Does anyone know that I was in Scooby-Doo 2? My face is in Scooby-Doo 2. One person. So there you go, a couple of people. I've got a little cameo in Scooby-Doo 2. I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm having a beer, and Scooby sidles up next to me and sits down, and I'm looking that way, and something happens. So rewatch the movie. You've got to be quick. But they really like that. The Warner Brothers executives like to have the voice artist interact with the character on screen. And so they put this little cameo in there for me. So that was a bit of fun. Got to be on screen for a moment. So those probably my favourites.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Cheers.
Next up, we've got...
Is this thing on?
Yep, it is. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Blair. Big fan, by the way.
Thanks, Blair. Thank you.
So my question is, the other actors for the Scooby Gang would go on to voice the Scooby Gang in an adult animated sketch show called Robot Chicken. Were you offered to voice Scooby for that? And if not, would you like to?
I wasn't, but I'm happy to do it. Seth Green can contact me. We worked on Scooby-Doo 2 together, and he's a good friend of mine, but I was probably not available just when he wanted to do that. I was probably on another show. But yes, I'd love to. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yep, there we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Mary, and I was wondering, in the first movie, to get on a plane, Scooby had to dress up in a dress. Did you have to go in the dress? And if so, did you like it?
Well, I've got really good legs. I didn't. No. There was two scenes in both movies, one in each movie, where there was an actual person inside a costume. Obviously, they put Scooby's head on in the computer. So it was an actor, a friend of mine, Marco Sinigalia, who actually performed that role, walking along next to Fred, who's the ugly old broad. That's me. So that was one chance. So I never dressed up in the suit. We had a little person for Chris Crookshanks. He performed initially. They didn't really know how this was all going to work because this is very early days in technology. So we had previous to Scooby-Doo 2, live action wise, our reference was Roger Rabbit. I mean, this is how far back we're going. 1980s, 89, you know? Long time ago. So it's a long time ago that this happened. So there was one, and then the other one was in the dance scene that I was just mentioning. There was a dancer who did all the dancing for Scooby in the dance scene in the bar in Scooby-Doo 2 when Shaggy talks to Old Man Wickles. So there was two opportunities where someone dressed up, but it wasn't me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Next up.
I'm Ellie. I just wanted to ask if there was any particularly memorable behind-the-scenes stories that have stuck with you over time.
Well, Matt and Freddie, Prince Jr., Matt Lillard, they'd already done about 6 movies together. So Wing Commander and all these other movies that they'd done together. And they knew each other very well, good friends, and they used to prank each other all the time. So there was definitely a lot of play between those two guys, but Matt Lillard is a genuinely funny guy to be around. He's just cracking the crew up all the time, coming up with some memorable ad-libs that probably can't be repeated, but lots of fun and alternatives. But you know, when he was doing the fart scene in Scooby-Doo 1, he came up with these amazing moves that were just had everybody cracking up, and you know, they just let him go, kept rolling, and just let him go and do whatever he wanted to do, and they edited in bits and pieces that they liked. So probably Matt Lillard doing anything on set was absolutely hilarious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Ellie.
Hi, my name's Kendall.
Hi,
I
Kendall.
wanted to ask, how did you get into your acting career?
Kendall, great question. So I get asked this a lot, and how do you get into voices as well? And it's not easy, but if you're passionate about it, you need to put some steps in place to achieve that goal. And you need some tools, like any tradesman needs tools. And a couple of tools are, as an actor and a voice artist, you're going to need a demo reel or a voice demo, which is a demonstration of your skills in a very short video if you're acting, and an audio file if you're a voice artist. So you need to go into a studio, take your time. All these are online. You can look at people's show reels, it's called, a show reel for an actor and a voice demo for voice actors. Go onto the net and look up voice and acting companies here or elsewhere, anywhere, and look at their talent, or IMDb, and look at people's show reels and see what they're doing. They're only short. It's going to have a variety of different styles that you can do. So you want to showcase your ability to casting directors. and they're going to choose. They're going to watch lots of show reels and choose. Okay, we're going to have Brandon, Kieran, and Fred out of the 20 that we've seen, and we're going to audition them. Live. Bring them in. Let's talk to them. Let's find out. That's the casting process. But once you get your show reel or your voice demo, you need another person to help you, and that's an agent. So the agent is who casting directors and film and TV companies go to source their talent for their shows. So without an agent, you're really going to struggle to know about productions that are coming up. So they're the steps you need to take, really. And as an actor, I'd recommend doing acting classes. As a voice artist, do lots of get accents together that you're comfortable with. Get a whole variety of different voices that you do, and put those together. And that's going to form your showcase, your voice demo. Yeah. Get an agent. That's who you need.
Like, thanks, man.
My pleasure. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, Amy.
I wanted to ask if you can talk more in depth about, most of the time you're probably in the studio. Did you have any, props to go on, or was you just you in the studio and, anything go wrong, more in depth?
Great question. Yes. So this is the hard part about what I do. Okay, so they filmed me doing the voice of the whole movie. So all the things that you see Scooby-Doo in the movie is me. So when I go, Rags, eyebrows up, mouth open, they're basing the character that they were building in the movie on what I did. So it's an acting performance, yeah? Because it's got to sell. Your voice has got to, the voice has got to sell what your face is doing. But I didn't have anything to look at. So what I'm looking at on the screen is called a pre-visualization, a very early look at where Scooby's going to be and do what he's going to do. So when he's falling down the cliff, for instance, bouncing down the cliff in Scooby-Doo 2, there was anything there. There's nothing there. It's just the camera going down this cliff, and and the director saying, and you're hitting that rock there, and you hit this tree here, and you go under that. And so this is where the imagination comes in as a voice artist. So you need to be really in touch with visualizing what the character is going to do, what the director's telling you he's going to do, and making the voice fit, hopefully, their vision. And then that's how it happens. So we always do the voice first. So cartoons or anything, the voice is always done first. And then the character's animation, or live action in this case, was done after to match the voice. Very difficult to do the character and then voice that. I've done it once and it was really hard. I did it on Holy Moly recently for the UK. So that's the process, and it's really hard. But I don't have any props. I don't have anything. It's all here, and it's all imagination and creating the character on screen without anything there.
It sounds a lot harder than ADR, because I did media and we did ADR, but your visuals technically aren't complete. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
I want to work in a studio, but I don't even know where to start. At least when you're the performer, you can, what you said, you can make things, but when you want to actually work with the technology, how do you even start?
Yeah, great question. I mean, ADR, additional dialogue recording, okay? This is what we do as voice artists. Good on you. You're on your way. You're already doing it.
Thanks. I don't have a degree in media, but...
Great. I mean, you're on your way and you're loving it?
I'm trying. It's really hard because we live in Leicester and there's nothing. We're thinking about travelling out near Nottingham and Manchester area. I'll probably get more work there. But it's just starting, especially in technology.
Very.
So hard.
This is a very difficult space. to be in. It's really hard, and the voice community is very small. It's very small because it's so hard, and the opportunities are very limited, mainly. There's no secret to it. It's just getting in there and working. What do you want to do? Cartoons, or what's your?
Well, when I got more into my media, I realised that I was more like editing and like more radio dramas sort of thing. So I guess I could do samples and like send it off to like the is it Radio 4? They do a lot of radio dramas. It's just, where do I submit it? Because I don't really know anything about radio dramas, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's something for you to do your research on and delve into. Call them, ring them up, talk to them. This is all. I just can't stress enough about anyone who wants to get into the medium of film and television, radio, broadcasting, whatever. It's communication. These are communication arts. So we are communicators. We're communicators. That's what we do. So talk to people. Send an email if you need to, but I like to ring people up. Ring them up. Because once you've got them on the phone, it's really hard to, cut that conversation short. So try that. Ring them up and see how you go, and make contact and ask them. I'm really keen. Tell them your story. Most people want to help people, and so tell them your story, that you want to get into this and you're struggling to do that. Can you help me? Give me some guidance. Give me three things I need to do. Give them and if you're going to do that, I write this out. Write out the conversation. So you're not struggling for words. You sound eloquent when you're speaking on the phone because you're reading it. It's a script. Make a script.
Yep.
Sell yourself. It's sales. It's sales.
What Hogwarts house would you be in?
Harry Potter question there.
Gryffindor.
There we go.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thanks for your question. We've only got just over 10 minutes, so very quickly, we're going to try and get through.
I'll try and be brief.
Have you ever heard anyone's voice acting and thought you could do a better job?
I do it I do a lot of voices very, very similar to a lot of others, but really, I respect other voice artists, so no, I don't think so, because you're going to bring something different to the performance. But yeah, no, I probably respect everybody's efforts because I know how difficult it is. So no, I probably don't do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Next up, we've got.
All right, you can call me Demon if you want.
All right, Demon.
Go, Demon.
You want me to take the mask off? If that's better.
No, mate,
That's
go for it.
So, do you have any funny backstage stories from both movies?
Yeah, as I was saying before, there's nothing specific, but anything Matthew Lillard was doing was pretty hilarious. But no, nothing specific that I can think of.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Demon. Next up, Austin Powers.
I'm Ben. If you couldn't play Scooby-Doo, who other characters in Scooby Gang would you like to play?
What other characters in Scooby-Doo would I play?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could do some other ghost characters, Captain Cutler, and do all those voices. But you guys are. Let's hope they do another 10 of them, and they bring back all these other characters because there's so many mysteries that can be solved, right? So yeah, let's hope I get the opportunity to do some others for sure.
Start getting on Instagram and James Gunn. Don't forget.
James Gunn.
Next question.
Hi, I'm Hugh, and my question is, what film was more difficult to film, and which scene was it?
Well, Scooby 1 was probably more difficult because we're all starting. It's all new to us. So the scenes that were very difficult were the fight scene where Scooby and Shaggy actually have a fight and swing at each other in Scooby-Doo 1, and then he falls down the pit. That was really difficult. It's in the behind the scenes on the DVD, because Matthew's fighting to nothing, and I'm reacting to him off screen and the camera's rolling around. It was very, very difficult for Matthew to do that, and me, because I'm trying to, not step on his dialogue with my reactions. It's a fight scene with nobody. It's very difficult. So that's probably the hardest one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, you.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Jenna. What was your favourite scenes in the movies?
Yep, favourite scenes. I think I've done this one. So the first one is Rowan Atkinson in the office, and second one, probably the scene where I'm in the limo going to the dance somewhere there.
And also, if we did another movie, do you think we'd see Scrappy Doo again?
We're not going to see Scrappy Doo again. I can guarantee that. So Scrappy Doo, when he came out in the movies many years ago, and this is a Warner Brothers story, which is secondhand to me, so I'm just going with it. But he wasn't very popular as a character. He was annoying, and he just broke up this, like, Scooby and Shaggy had a great comedy duo. You know, comedy duos normally are duos, and when Scrappy came along, it broke the duo thing. And so it wasn't very popular, and they needed to get rid of, so they stopped making Scrappy-Doo cartoons. But why they made Scrappy, I believe, the villain in Scooby-Doo 1 was because they wanted to shelve that character forever. So when he gets taken off in the helicopter, that's because we will never see him again, I believe, in history. So he's gone skis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. 2 more to go.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I was just wondering if you have a favourite Scooby-Doo villain?
Captain Cutler. Captain Cutler for me. Yeah, great costume, amazing character, and scary as hell to be up close to with. Oh my gosh, those costumes on Scooby-Doo 2 are amazing. So, Captain Cutler for sure.
I personally like Scrappy-Doo the best because I agree he's very annoying.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so much that he was the villain.
It's gone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Carrie.
I'm finishing with Daphne.
Last one, and they're going to explain what this was on set.
Hi.
Hi.
Again. I'm Eva. When you got the script for the first one, where it said that Scooby was going to dress up as Granny, did you laugh when you read it and then thought, how the hell are they going to do this?
Yes, I mean, that was an amazing... So, Granny, Scooby dressing up as Granny. My audition was very extensive. The audition process to get that voice actor's role on set, very extensive. So they actually brought us into the studio, and there's 2 of us got down to the last 2 in Australia and New Zealand, and I didn't know this, but they asked us a series of 10 questions, and one of the questions was, if you were to dress up in disguise to get somewhere, what would you do? And I said, well, I dress up as an old lady because I've got really good legs. It was all ad lib, not knowing that was in the script. So I kind of knew that that was sort of coming, but we sort of didn't know how it was all going to work. I mean, the CGI guys did, but that's sort of how it happened. But I'm just going to finish with explaining what this is. Thank you. So the process is that there's nothing there for Scooby-Doo, right? He's built in the computer later on. So when we do a scene, as I said, hey, camera's here, Shaggy is talking to me, I'm talking back. When we've got that dialogue and we're moving on, we do what's called a clean plate. So everybody moves out of the set, no one on the set, and the visual effects team come in, and one guy walks around everywhere where Scooby went in the scene because they need to match the lighting on Scooby to the other actors and the shadows and everything. And they do that with this. So they hold this in one hand And in the other hand, they're holding another stick with a ball, a bowling ball shaped ball about that size, which is chrome, so it reflects the light onto Scooby's face. So the computer guys can work out all the shadows and the lighting. I don't know how this works. I'm not a computer guy, but that's why they have this on set. And this is from Scooby-Doo 2. So Matthew Lillard was very kind when we wrapped on Scooby-Doo 2. He contacted Warner Brothers and said, guys, Nilo has to get this head because he's Scooby-Doo. Can we give it to him? And they said yes. So that was a very prized piece of memorabilia from the movies that's very special to me, and I thank Matthew Lillard for being very generous in doing that. And I thank you guys for your amazing questions. So it's been a very, very pleasurable experience to come all the way from Australia and be joining you at Comic-Con Edinburgh 2023. And I thank you so much. Please come and see me around the corner there in the last hour and a half. Love to sign some things for you. And we've really enjoyed our time in Great Britain and Scotland especially, and Edinburgh. Thank you. I love you so much, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.
Scotland, give it up for Neil Fanning. We're going to do a quick selfie, so if everybody wants to just quickly stand up. We're going to get Robin in. We're going to get Scooby as well. Yeah, there we go.